So this video is for entrepreneurs. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are looking to become an entrepreneur, if you have failed at entrepreneurship, this video is for you. Welcome to Think Like an Ant. My name is Albert Amakwesiama. I'm a fund manager. I work with money for a living, and I look forward to talking to you about money, how to manage it, how to grow it, how to make it work for you. Enjoy the video. So for those of us who live in this country, we understand how business works. We've seen how business works. And the first question I ask myself is, do we have a trust-based society, or do we not trust when we get into contracts? Number two, do we have a culture where people respect contracts, or do we not? Number three, do we sometimes feel like the people we are working with think that they want to earn the money we earn, even though we've brought more to the table than them? And finally, the last question we'll ask ourselves is, do we believe that as business people, we are honest with how we speak? Let's talk more in the video. I think it goes without saying, in Ghana, you don't trust the people you work with. It's as simple as that. Culturally, giving somebody a 30% deposit and expecting to come for goods in a week is something we just don't do. It may work for you, but trust me, your situation is the anomaly. We don't have a trust-based society. And as an entrepreneur, you need to understand it, you need to plan around it because it's valuable for you. Secondly, we sign contracts in this country, and I believe in signing contracts, but a contract is only enforceable if both parties in the contract are committed to that contract. For example, if I sign a contract with you that says that you have to deliver a wardrobe to me at 2 p.m. in 2 weeks' time, if you don't share the same value as I do, I'll be expecting a wardrobe at 2 p.m. in 2 weeks' time, and you will forget about the wardrobe altogether. This is how Ghana works. People generally don't respect contracts. Sign them nonetheless, but you need to realize that we don't respect contracts. Three, we are not very honest people, and you might as well fight me for it, but it's true. Ask your tailor to tell you when he will deliver your attire. Get there at that time, and if it's there, let me know. We don't have a culture that makes us speak the entire truth. We keep half of our intentions in our head and only say what is enough for a conversation. And in business, it's key you realize this, because the person that is guaranteeing you that they can deliver those goods at the best quality in a week's time if you give them the money may really just be telling you a lie, or maybe overselling themselves because they need to get the contract at all costs. And it's only when money exchanges hands that they realize that they can't deliver and they've oversold, and they won't come to you to tell you there are challenges. You will wait till the day you need the goods and people's phones go off. The last thing we need to understand about our culture is, for those of you who are employers, you will find that you've hired somebody, you've asked them to come to work from 8 to 5, and you've given them a salary at the end of the month. As far as you are concerned, you fulfilled your part of the bargain. Here is money, and this is the work I expect. But after 6 months or after 3 months, you realize that your employees want to earn the same salary as you. If you buy a new car, they want to buy the same car, and if you buy a new phone, they want to buy a new phone. We have a very entitled culture in our work environment. And it's also important that you keep it in the back of your mind, because the fact that you've agreed to pay someone a salary for work doesn't mean that in their mind they've agreed to take that salary and give you the work. They may have just done it to get through the door, and things will change. So how do we go about these things? Number one, regarding trust, it's a really simple idea. Because you know you can't trust the people you get into conversations with in business, you have to create measures around trust. Create an escrow account. Send money by Momo instead of paying cash. Work with receipts when money is received. Put in every measure you can to ensure that if trust is breached, you have a fallback plan. In some cases, have a policeman's number on the side. Be willing to report a case at the police station. It doesn't mean it to change overnight, but people will start to realize that breaching trust with you as a business person has real consequences. Call a lawyer, send a matter to court, serve somebody. If you don't learn these things in Ghanaian business, you will be on the losing side of mistrust and deception. Make it a point to put in measures to cover your back on trust. The next thing we'll talk about is the fact that contracts cannot be seen as binding when you sign them in this part of business for Ghanaians. You've signed the contract is tight, you've mentioned everything, but don't stop there. Get a camera, get a logbook, ask them to send you text messages with progress, ask for pictures every week. Don't wait for week 4, because if he's really working on a wardrobe, you should be able to see something at the end of the first week. He should show you a receipt of where he bought the goods from. He should send you a picture of the wardrobe, and that picture better look like the wardrobe you are paying for. Don't wait till the end of the period, because trust is key, but it has to be maintained. And contracts are important, but they have to be enforced. Make yourself a contract enforcer. Get that camera and watch what those people are doing. It may take your time, it may take your energy, but guess what? If you make it a habit, those working with you appreciate your value system and they'll start changing around you. Employees have a sense of entitlement, and this is true. You pay them a salary, you ask them to work certain hours, and after a few months of work, they start to change their mind. They start to act differently around you. They want more money, and you can't even understand what value they brought to your business. How do you deal with it? Fire them, and fire them. Don't let an auntie and an uncle call you and tell you that you have to give them more time and they are going to adjust. This whole time is your money that is paying those people. Fire them. Nobody is irreplaceable. The more you fire, the more you create an organizational culture. Hiring people does not create culture. Firing the wrong ones does. Be that Ghanaian business person who is not afraid to write someone a letter and fire them because they did not live up to their part of the contract. If you do that this year, you see a big change in your staff. You see a big change in the way your staff respond to you and a big change in their productivity. Finally, we want to talk about honesty and dishonesty. It's that simple. Just don't believe what people say. Check it. In God we trust, all others we monitor. It's not for nothing. Monitor them, and monitor them. Get a tracker in your car. You have a driver who tells you, "Oh, madam, pacho moha, mekofa we." If they say they are where they are, open the tracker on your phone. It's not expensive. Check where the car is. Check if it's idling. You would know. Track and track and track. You hear what people say, you say okay, but don't take that to be hook, line, and sinker. Accept the fact that there could be dishonesty and track. Check that the statement has been made. Check that the deposit has been made. Ask for evidence. Look at it in your banking app. If you make it a habit to track, your people will realize you don't joke with them. If you send someone to Makola to buy you something, when they get back, call a friend who works at Makola and find out the price. Compare the price with what they offered you. Call Abosiokai and do it. In that process, you start to understand who is being dishonest, who is not being dishonest, and at the end of the day, you can filter out who to fire, who to promote, and who to keep. So still talking about firing, think about it this way. You have a tailor, you've worked with a tailor for 5 years and they are not consistent. Why are you still with them? You have a plumber and every time he works, there's a leakage. Why are you still with them? Are they the only plumber in the country? I know it's not that easy to find somebody else. I know people don't come across as easily when you want to find skill. But if you are not willing to put in the effort to find skill, you continue to suffer the consequence of buying things 7 times over because the people you are working with are either not well skilled or they are not trustworthy. You need to fire that tailor and get another one. If the next one doesn't do well, fire him again. Trust me, by the time you do this 5 or 6 times, you will find somebody that works for you and that is willing to take you seriously. Fire that plumber of yours. By the time you do it a few times, you will find a good plumber. Ghana is getting full of new breed of young people who are looking for work, who want to be serious, who want to be committed, but they are not as common. Find them, because that is what it costs to be an entrepreneur. Fire them and don't be a complainer. This is what we have to share for entrepreneurs this time. We look forward to more videos. Send us your comments, send us your questions, send us your feedback, send us videos you would like us to do because we want them to be relevant for you. This is Think Like an Ant, where we talk about how to work with money, how to manage money, and how to watch your money grow for you. Have a good one.